Hey everyone, my name is Marissa Escobar. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I woke up today and decided to make a video I want to talk about grief and loss, since I'm observing that in a lot of my friends and my family, this country, and the world. As you can see, I'm not wearing makeup. I brushed my hair. I woke up like this, and I am self-quarantined voluntarily. I got home on Friday evening. I live in Los Angeles County, and I got home Friday evening, and my husband and I, we've just willingly and voluntarily chosen to stay in. So my car's still in the same spot. I've been out to walk around. I live in a nice condominium complex, so I've been walking around the condos, and we've taken our dog out to use the restroom. But besides that, I haven't been anywhere, and I don't plan to be. And look at me touching my face. So I have two elderly parents. My dad is 70, and my mom is turning 68 this year. So just being hyper mindful. I haven't seen them. I don't know if and when I will see them, and I'm comfortable seeing them through FaceTime and talking on the phone, just because I want to be of service to the community. I want to be of service to my parents and stay in. So anyways, today I'm going to talk about the stages of grief. There was a woman, her last name is Kubler-Ross, and she created a model on grief. She worked with cancer patients and their families. And when she was working with them, she noticed that how all the family, the cancer patients and the family members all tended to fall into about like 5 big umbrella stages as they dealt with the diagnosis and the outcome of a cancer diagnosis, which, at least at the time, it did end up with loss and experiencing grief. So the 5 stages of grief, there's 5, and their primary responses to loss. The stages are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. So someone who is grieving, it could be a breakup, it could be the loss of a loved one, or it could be just an extreme and sudden change in your life. People tend to go through these stages, and they'll go through them in any order. It's flexible. So you could be in denial, then you could go to bargaining, you could go back to anger, down to depression, back to denial, right? And it's all working towards acceptance. All right, so what is the first stage? Denial. This can't be happening. This is not happening. I'm going to pretend this is not happening. And it's usually unconscious, right? So sometimes we do try to pretend to distract ourselves. And at the same time, denial, it's seen in individuals who may refuse to accept the fact that a loss or a significant change has occurred, right? This is seen in people who minimize, downplay, dismiss, what's going on. So I saw this a lot this weekend with my parents. They continued to go to the gym and to the movies and out to eat at restaurants. I was like, what are you doing? You're in denial. And this can also be seen in how the governments responded, right? I heard about the doctor who really named this the whistleblower in Wuhan, China, and he was made to sign a document saying that he was incorrect, right? It's seen in the Italians who continue to, some of them, right, just live their lives normally, and at the same time this virus was spreading. And again, it can be even seen here in people who are going out and about, who are touching microphones and mocking the fears, right? That's all denial, right? Just minimizing and outright denying the situation. The next stage is anger, right? And this is seen in frustration, in irritability, in combativeness. And I've heard about this. I did here in my hometown, my current town. There were people fighting at the grocery store to get food. There's a lot of finger pointing going on. And I'm angry. I got angry at my parents when I was hearing about everything they were doing. So I responded with sarcasm, dismissal, anger, right? And there's something underneath that, which we'll get to. And at the same time, this is a normal phase where we do want to blame, where we do want to point fingers, where we do want to get angry. And sometimes that can be at others and it can also be at ourselves. So yeah, arguing, saying how things are unfair and placing blame. So the next phase is bargaining, right? And a bargain, what does bargain come from, right? At stores, when we try and change the price, try and change the outcome, we try and add a little here or take off a little there. So bargaining, the individual may try to change or delay their loss. Classic example is when a parent has a child who is sick and dying and they pray, right? Take me and not my child, right? That's a bargain. That's a deal that the person is trying to make. People will also try and convince a partner not to break up with them. Like, I promise, like, I'll change, I'll make it work. That's a bargain, trying to change the outcome of a situation. And right now, this can be seen in, okay, we're going to close the schools, but casinos will stay open. Like, let's try and change the outcome of this situation. Or I'm going to self-isolate and also go to the gym. That's a bargain. And again, this is seen in people who are trying to change the outcome of the reality of the situation. Fourth stage is depression. And I'm seeing this a lot in my clients. I'm seeing this a lot in my family members and my friends. This is depressing. This is the depressing stage because people recognize that a loss has occurred or will occur. It's inevitable. I have students who were seniors in high school, seniors in college, and they're depressed because they do not get to walk. They're not going to have a graduation ceremony. They're not going to engage in all the typical things that seniors do the next 6 to 8 weeks. I know people who are getting married in the near future, and they're depressed. They are sad, and they are having to accept the fact that we might not have that bachelor or bachelorette party. We might not have that wedding with all these people. We might not get to go on that honeymoon to Italy in 2 to 3 months. I just had a spit bubble. Sorry about that. And right, this is when the reality is setting in, and people tend to fight this one the most. So there's a lot of depression setting in, then people bounce back to denial, and then bargaining, right? Well, maybe if we got married here, maybe if we hosted the gathering at this location, right? Maybe we could make it work. So again, this can be seen where people will start to isolate themselves. They're crying, they're grieving, and it's typically the most painful, hurtful, and saddening part of the process, but it's on the precipice of, and what we're all working towards. And I don't know if we're even all going to be able to get there before this is all over. But the fifth and final stage is acceptance. This is what it is. This is what is. So individuals will come to accept their loss. They understand the situation emotionally, right? Logically, it makes sense. And they've come to terms. So this is what we're working towards. So I think for me, at least, acceptance was on, I would say, Friday, reading the news, watching the news, and also listening to the news. I devour podcasts. I came to a place of acceptance, thinking, okay, I am not going to meet my clients in person this week, maybe for the next several weeks. I'm not going to see my parents for the near future. And I am going to be working from home and staying in, supporting my community, and also letting go of and grieving the loss of being out and about and living my normal life and going on the coffee dates and the networking events and the sessions and all the plans that I had this week, this month, for the next several weeks. Okay, I will stay in. I will stay in. So that's where I'm at. And I wonder what stage you're at. And if you want to comment below or you want to reach out, you can Instagram Therapy with Marissa, Facebook, I think it's Marissa Escobar LMFT, www.therapywithmarissa.com. And I had a thought, but now I can't remember what I was going to say. It will come back to me. So that's it. Thank you. I'll be doing this a lot more since I'm home.